John Hancock here, and I'm back with another video talking about DLC and digital downloads. And so last video I uploaded talked about a message to console companies, and I got a lot of feedback. Thank you so much for all the comments. And I have a lot of thoughts on DLC and digital downloads, and I really didn't convey that or was able to talk about it in my last video. So let's first start with DLC. And you know, downloadable content's been around a long time. I have mixed feelings about it. Overall, I'm not a fan at all. And how does that affect collecting? And so, tying it into retro gaming and retro collecting, DLC for me is I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of DLC. I get it. I understand why game companies do it, but from a collector's perspective, it's a bane of existence. It's just it's a nuisance because, you know, essentially when you buy a game now, you're not buying the whole game. This is a shell of the whole game. This is some of the game, but the rest of the game you have to buy. That to me is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time. Some people don't care. I do. I think it takes away from the experience, and I think it takes away from you know, collecting. You know, as more downloadable content for a game exists, it makes the value of this nothing. I mean, it's good if you want to play a game and you just want to play the experience and check it out, but you know, when the servers go offline, then the entire game is gone. And so here's my thoughts on DLC in general. Again, what I said is it's not the whole game anymore. The other issue is that often it's tied to one console. So if you download this extra content of a game, and it could be an extra levels, extra skins, and something happens to that console, you're screwed. You're screwed. That content's gone. I've had this happen to me. It stinks. It just I have an issue with it. And so often too, the other issue with DLC is some of the prices of some of the content being offered is just out of whack. It's just not worth it. For some games it might be, and it might be a good way to support a game company that's making a game. I mean, I get that, but I'm going to use this analogy, and it's been used other places. I call it the hamburger analogy. And so, you know, in the old days when you bought a game, you know, this is let's let's pull out one of my favorite NES Classic games, Popeye. Great game, right? In the old days, when you bought a game, you would purchase this game, and all the levels would be there, everything there, and it would be a cost. I'm sure that was, you know, 40. I'm sure it was 50 to 60 bucks, if at least. You bought the game, you got the whole game experience, you got everything there. Now, and a hamburger. So if it was a hamburger, it would be, you know, the hamburger, the side, the shake, everything there. Now when you buy a game, I'll just pull this out again. So you buy this game, you're not getting the whole hamburger. You're getting, you know, the meat. You're getting, you know, maybe the patty, but you're not getting, you know, the extra condiments. You're not getting the extra fries. You're not getting the whole experience. You're being charged extra for that content. And honestly, that's not fair. That's not fair. It's not been fair for a long time. And for many people, I think they're just tired of it. You know, I think it ruins the game experience. I know for a long time that the standard traditional package has not worked for many game companies. But, you know, the question is, you know, maybe games need to have smaller development teams. That's why I think you see more and more companies kind of going that route. It's not good for gamers. I think that a lot of them are tired of doing it. And as a collector of video games, I'm not a fan whatsoever, because it makes me not want to collect modern games, knowing that if I want to play a game 10 years from now, that when I pop that game into a game console, what experience am I getting? Well, I'm not getting the whole experience, because half of it is DLC content that I didn't want to pay extra for. And so it really raises some interesting questions about, like, so if you try to go for every Xbox One game, and you have all the physical media of that particular game library, do you really have an entire game collection? And it's like, there's a ton of content that's not going to be there. It's just, I don't know, I get it. I get it. It's not all evil. I know that some downloadable content can be free, and I know it's a way to offer additional content that wasn't available when a game came out. I understand all of that, and I don't want to say it's all evil. I'm just not a big fan, and I usually don't buy it. There's times I have. Times I have when I really enjoyed a game company and the content, and I did purchase it. So I'm not all or nothing, but as a collector, I hate it. So next, so DLC. You know, what are your thoughts? Definitely want you to comment below. So let's talk about the other thing tied to that, which is just digital downloads in general. Now, I'm going to bring up an interesting one. The 360 had a remake of Robotron 2084, and it was only available for I don't know how long, but it's not available anymore. You can't download it, I don't think. And so I downloaded it, and I love it. Love playing my Robotron 2084, one of my favorite games. And but you know, it was a good price. I downloaded it, but that was the only way I could play this digital remake, and then it went away. So digital downloads aren't all bad. And when I'm talking about digital downloads, I'm talking like games that are only available to download. But again, there's some problems with some. Okay, for the smaller game companies to make great content, I mean, that's the only way they can offer a game is a digital download on a Xbox Live or PlayStation Network or Steam. And Steam's awesome, by the way. And so the problem is with some games, the cost is completely out of whack. If this costs $60, okay, a physical media game, okay, a digital download should not cost the same amount. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I will never support it. I will never, ever buy a game that's $60 for a download or $40 for a download. It shouldn't cost the same. I don't think anybody else should pay the same either. It's the silliest thing I've ever seen. That's the one biggest gripe I have with a digital download of a game. It shouldn't cost the same. You should have a discount if it's just a download. So that's my biggest problem with digital downloads is the cost, especially for a full game, is completely out of whack. Yeah, there's sales and stuff, but still, it's not right. The cost is just baffles me. Again, it's tied to usually a console, and if you lose your account or you're offline or something, and you can't recover it, it's gone, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem with me. Yeah, there's many smaller game companies. That's the only option that they have to offer their game, and I totally want to say I want to support all the smaller game companies that are releasing digital downloads. It's great, but you know, as a collector in me, I miss physical media, and I will continue to focus on physical media for my game collection. But it's hard because, you know, down the road there's going to be many great games that are going to be hard to be represented because they're only tied to a network or only digital downloads. I think some of that's going to be lost. And one thing I do think about digital downloads is that I think that it will potentially increase the value of consoles, especially modern consoles, if fine used, because there's going to be all this extra content on a console, and it'll be neat to to collect a game system and to see what games are on it. I did that recently with the Nintendo Wii. Like sometimes I want to purchase a Nintendo Wii if it's really cheap to just see what digital downloads are on it. Is it worth collecting or playing, or even just curious to see what someone thought was interesting to download and play. So what are your thoughts on DLC and digital downloads? Also, I want to say that digital downloads are also convenient. So say you don't want to get up and put a disc into a game system. Well, maybe you like having all the content on your console right there. You can choose it and play it. So comment below. I am so thankful for all my support over these many years. I'm over 15,000 subs. Woo! And just going to continue to crank out some videos, and thank you so much. So comment below what you think about these topics, and going to continue making some videos. This is the immortal John Hancock, signing out.